Good day and welcome back. Today, we are diving into something that's got a fair few people talking. Sky News host Rowan Dean's fiery take on Australia's bloated bureaucracy and the deep state that, according to him, is running the show. And let's be real, he's not exactly mincing his words. Rowan Dean has called for what he describes as the fraudsters, Marxists, and clowns running the government to be given the boot. He argues that the public sector in Canberra is a bloated mess, and if you sacked half of them tomorrow, it wouldn't make a shred of difference. Now, whether you agree with him or not, you've got to admit, this kind of commentary is hitting a nerve with a lot of Aussies, especially those fed up with government inefficiencies and bureaucratic red tape. Dean's comments come off the back of a speech from US President Donald Trump at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, in Maryland. Yep, you heard that right. Trump is back in the White House, now serving as the 47th President of the United States. And in true Trump style, he didn't hold back, blasting what he calls fraudsters, liars, cheaters, globalists, and deep state bureaucrats. He declared they were being sent packing, illegal immigrants were being deported, and he was draining the swamp to restore government by the people, for the people. Trump went on to slam the radical left, accusing them of draining America's wealth, attacking liberties, obliterating borders, and leaving the country in tatters. But, as he put it, not anymore. That message, Dean argues, is exactly what Australians need to hear. According to him, the deep state isn't just an American problem. It's alive and well right here in Canberra. And if an election is around the corner, Aussies need to take the chance to clean house. Now, speaking of elections, political commentator Andrew Clennell has tipped April 5th as the likely date for Australia's next federal election. And if that's the case, Dean says it's the perfect opportunity to sack the so-called fraudsters and Marxists running the government. He applauded Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor's pledge to cut 36,000 public service jobs, although Dean believes that's just a drop in the ocean and that the cuts need to go much, much further. His argument? Australia needs to bring back investment and industry, much like Trump has promised in the US. The former president has managed to secure trillions in investment for America, but where's that kind of money for Australia? Dean and his colleagues argue that until Australia tackles its bloated public sector and excessive bureaucracy, real economic growth will be out of reach. Rita Panahi, another Sky News host, weighed in as well, but she wasn't quite as optimistic. She reckons Dean is overestimating the courage of Australian politicians. According to her, even if a coalition government were to come into power, they'd only scratch the surface of the wasteful spending. She believes that the real power lies within the bureaucracy itself, which continues to run the show no matter who sits in the PM's chair. Panahi also pointed to the ABC as an example of wasteful government spending. She asked, would Trump be pouring more than $1 billion into a government-funded broadcaster that, in her view, pushes left-wing activism? Not a chance. According to her, the coalition doesn't even have the guts to defund the ABC because they are too afraid of backlash from people who wouldn't vote for them in the first place. Now, James Morrow jumped in on the conversation as well, shifting the focus to what he calls a disgraceful move by the Labor government in Western Sydney. He accused them of trying to win votes by fast-tracking citizenship approvals, essentially handing out Australian passports like they are flyers at a footy match. According to Morrow, this devalues Australian citizenship and turns it into a political bargaining chip. He didn't stop there. Morrow pointed out that Labor's approach to citizenship isn't new, it started when they first took office. He reminded viewers that one of the first things they did was scrap the requirement for councils to hold citizenship ceremonies on Australia Day. And now, he claims, they are back at it, using citizenship as a tool to win over key voter bases, particularly in Western Sydney, where Labor is under pressure from independent candidates and shifting voter demographics. At the end of the day, this whole discussion boils down to one major question: is the Australian government overrun with wasteful spending and bureaucratic bloat? Rowan Dean and his colleagues certainly think so, and they believe Aussies should take a page out of Trump's playbook, cut the excess, drain the swamp, and bring back real investment. But whether or not that actually happens, well, that's up to the voters. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is the Canberra bureaucracy as bad as they say? Should we be slashing public service jobs? Or is this all just political grandstanding? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Cheers for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.